Year too, and I had fewer mistakes this year because of Dave. And thank you for that because the Buxtons need, class. Max, I can't see over this thing. You gonna be okay? So, we have a Buxton family of 10. Raise your hand if you're from a family of 10. Oh, look at that. So you're not so special after all, are you? Nonetheless, you are. See, look at these guys. I don't know if it's going to work. So I'll just go like this. Sorry, Kathy. There. I'm going to try and tell this story because I can't see that far. In 1952, in November, after what was probably the harvest down in Utah in the flat country where beets grew well, your dad's name is Joe, and his wife and your mother, her name is Alta. Did I say that right? Okay. They were crazy enough to look around. He wanted his own property. They both did, correct? So in November 52, they come up here. I'm not going to tell you how long it took them to get here from, where was it in Utah again? Tremont. So that wasn't that far, right? Anyway, they had a friend. They had gone to Montana. I don't know who all went with Dad, or if Mom and Dad went together. They went to Montana, Idaho, other parts of Utah. They were looking for some land. Neighbor by the name of Nilsson's. They lived up here. They used to be your neighbor in Utah, correct? Okay. They weren't very good neighbors, apparently, because they said, come on up and try and build on the rocks on this hillside. Go ahead. So what happened was it was the butte. You live just west of the butte, and that's good country right there. That dirt is perfect. But apparently you bought the land up on the hillside, right? So if any of you dads know what it's like to raise kids and make a couple mistakes, maybe a financial mistake, and you know how stressful that can be, they made it go with it. And so they started growing some crops. About 70% of the land that they bought was alfalfa, some pasture, and some grain. But about 30%, they had already been raising beets down in Utah. What could go wrong? Well, corrugates were different. Utah, they used to just flood irrigate everything. Flat land, everything was good. But you build up on the rocks in the hills, and that water rushes down too fast. So in July, would have been 53. Dad's going, I don't think we're going to make any money this year. We must do something different. So the neighbor had 5 acres of sprinklers. And so apparently the ingenuity, the know-how, the grit, the determination that your mom and dad showed, you guys made some money. Barely, but you made it. And that was your welcome to Vale moment, right? That's an incredible story. So I'm driving to Portland last week, and Max is telling me this story, and I'm just like, this is incredible. I named your story, it's the story of the American. And that's what your parents gave you. And that's why they were tough, demanding. Maybe they got loud once in a while, and maybe they chased you with I don't know if you had wooden spoons back in those days, but chased you with something. And I asked Max, I go, Max, how is it that you have these demanding parents who get after you and don't let you fight, and if you do, you're going to get in trouble and all that stuff, and you're out in the field? You love them. You respect them. It's like, that's an incredible story. And all of them do. And they all talk highly of their parents. Now, I have some pictures that I'm not going to show you. I'm sorry. Because they're the same stories we've all seen from our grandparents and great-grandparents. The cave out of the side of the hill. taking all the sagebrush out. All those stories that we all come from. That's why we get along. That's why we have this party every year. Because we're the same people. Because we are dirt tough. That's why. And that's why we always win in the football games and the volleyball games. Because we know how to get tough. And when the going, we will handle that. And so, I appreciate all 10 of you being involved tonight. Because we don't know you. We know your last name. And we know your name because Max says it all the time. And we can't get him to be quiet sometimes. But he is a great representative in our area for the rest of you. I want you to know that. So, I don't know if anybody noticed the Rodriguez children helping. But this family, early, I don't remember the exact year, but most of you were probably imagine it was the Vietnam era. And they lost one, and so that's a vacant chair. Now, I am going to try my best to play that song, but before we do that, I'm going to tell you what these kids did with that real humble beginning. So, Dwayne is no longer with us. He is represented by, come on up. This is Rob. This is Dr. Rob. Sharon is no longer with us, correct? There's a Christine, but that's not this one. Come on up, Rob. Sarah, is that right? Where is she? Sarah. Like our Sarah. Oh, that was easy. I'm just deaf. So you guys are going to have to come clear on over here because there are 9 of you. Okay. This person I know is here. Bill. Right? Where are you, Bill? Come on up, Bill. Max, of course, is here. He's number 4. That's enough. That's enough. Okay. The real giver in the family, Gary, why don't you get in front of Max and beat him up here? Hey, Thomas, John, I think we're going to change it up a little bit. Can you help out? Maybe Zeddy, can you guys help out and get that chair for us? Bring the flag and the picture.
Good job, Thomas. Zeddy?
Now, I know that Max is going to mention his name. Can you say his name?
Dilash.
Thank you. Max wants to do everything with the microphone. Sorry, Max. I don't know these other guys. You can give me back one day anyway. So, we're going to leave this here, and then Max is going to talk to you about it. Thank you once again, Thomas, John, and Zeddy. Where's Susie? There she is. And your name is Christine. I didn't remember that one. Come on up. You're representing your mother. Where's Carol? Carol? That's your sister, Max? Younger sister, right? Where's Jolene? She's also much younger than you. Jolene is representing herself, and I can't wait to tell you what good things they did, but I'm going to get them all up here first. And then there's a Boyd. That what I heard is the baby of the family. So, when I was planning for this group, I had heard they were successful people from humble beginnings. And so I highlighted a word from each description. And this is all that really needs to be said. So for Dwayne, he was a deputy administrator of the USDA. He was a professor at the University of Arizona. I mean, that guy's accomplished. And then the next one, you go, oh, wow, okay, an elementary teacher, special education. It's like Sarah, our Sarah, it's just the same people. Then we have an engineer. And then we have a business administrator, international business. We have an Air Force veteran, a very generous Air Force veteran, I might add. Number 6 is in the vacant chair. Susan was an elementary educator. Carol, women's studies at Portland State, long career at Providence Medical Center. Jolene, I'm on the right one here. PhD, Zach, that's a doctor. She's currently a professor at Sam Houston University, and of course, Boyd. Bachelor of Arts in Accounting from Brigham Young University. That is the math guy then, right? That's the math guy. So, I'm done. These guys did it. And I don't even know you, but I'm proud of you too. So, welcome to the Hall of Fame. I know that your brother is going to speak on your behalf, or your uncle, and we'll wish him well. And if you would like that song still played, we will play it at the end. Okay. Max.
Well, wow, I can't tell you what an honor it is for all of the Buxton family to be chosen into the Vale Hall of Fame, and then to be selected to be inducted right along with Brian and Sarah. That's amazing. And there were many other nominees this year, and to have been selected from that list of nominees is something. I'm very proud of our family. We're all very proud. We much regret that Mom and Dad and our 3 siblings that have passed that are not here, plus Sister Susan, who's not health to be able to travel. But we're also very glad to have the representatives for the siblings sitting in for them. Thank you for that. So growing up on the small rocky farm that Jeff so eloquently described, yeah, that was tough. A lot of long hours and hard work. Everybody had to pitch in and hold their own weight. Lots of daily chores, milking cows, feeding, sprinkler system. Jeff didn't quite say it, but we got in that first year, and things were not going well, and so we did put in a sprinkler system. And the sprinkler system that we had was nothing like the nice sprinkler systems that you see today, where all you gotta do is push some buttons and it moves. Those hand lines had to be moved morning and night, I'm exaggerating now, but a lot of days in the year. And then that was on the homeland. We also rented land, and where we didn't have the sprinklers, and we learned to get quite well at setting siphon tubes. Working in the fields, sugar beets that had to be thinned and hoed. We all took turns missing school to help with spring work and the harvest time and so forth. But through all of that, we all developed a very good work ethic, And today, I think we are all so very thankful to Mom and Dad for these valuable lessons and the strong work ethic, along with the good basic education that we got at the Vale schools system. I think it helped prepare all of us as we went forward in our careers. Thank you. I would like to just comment briefly on a couple of my siblings. One brother, DeLoss. He was the smallest of all of us boys, only about 5'5", but perhaps the toughest. And I remember on more than one occasion, he and I would get into some kind of a scuffle. And he being shorter than I, he was able to get in under my arms, and that little shit would kick me right in the shin, and then run off and hide, and he thought that was quite funny. A few years after high school, DeLoss was drafted in the Army, and after completing his basic and AIT training, he came home on leave, and he got married, and he shipped out 10 days later. He shipped out 10 days later, and this was during the peak of the Vietnam conflict in 1969. All gave some, and some gave all. Thank you very much. DeLoss was killed in action less than 30 days there. He was later awarded the Silver Star posthumously for gallantry in action and credited with saving the lives of many of his fellow comrades in his platoon. The Silver Star is a very high medal just under the Medal of Honor. All of DeLoss's medals, including the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, the Purple Heart, all of them are in a memorial display case at the Vale High School. I would also like to say a few words about Gary. About 12 years ago, when the Alumni Association was in its infancy, Gary made a significant monetary contribution, and this was the beginning of the permanent endowment fund for the association. With Gary's contribution and then subsequently lifetime members and other proceeds such as from this banquet, that permanent endowment fund has continued to grow. It can never be touched, the principal, only 1/2 of the interest, and so it will continue to grow. I would like to also not overlook my sisters. They carried a lot of weight on the farm as well, chores, housework, meals, and so forth, but they also had to be out helping move those land lines and the sprinkler pipes and working in the fields. They were very good students in school, all of them, several of them being salutatorian, and I think one even valedictorian. They consistently always made the honor roll. But not to be outdone, I was also very consistent in high school. I never made the honor roll. I I am glad that years later I did a little better than that in college. I cannot say enough good things about the Vale Alumni Association. It is such a great organization, serving such a good cause to the Vale community, providing scholarships to Vale students. As you would note in the program there, the very first year of the scholarships given in 2013, $1,000 is all that we had. This last year, 2024, now 50,000. So that's a remarkable growth, and I really take my hat off to the Alumni Association and all the good work that they are continuing to do. I cannot help with a mic in my hand, but make a pitch to the for the association. If you're not a member already, please consider, and if you have the means, consider becoming a lifetime member. Your contribution is tax deductible. Thank you, Vale Alumni Association, for honoring my family, and thank you for all of you being here. Thank you.
So how about we honor number 6 and give these guys a round of applause when we back that up for me, please, and let's get that chair front and center. Thank you. So as they're working, you can see the house. This is the Utah house. Looks like every house in Utah. Mom and Dad, I asked Max, give us some pictures when they weren't at their best, maybe because they were working on the farm. This was, I don't know who for sure, but Max told me about thinning beets. And we don't work like that anymore. And that's the Sunday best, Mom and Dad. So please forgive me on this one. This is to honor their brother who was lost, and it's kind of embarrassing if it goes right to an ad on YouTube. So I'm just telling you, I'm embarrassed about this.
Lieutenant John William Grout was killed in battle at Balls Bluff, Virginia. His absence at his family's next Thanksgiving inspired the vacant chair.
So Max said to me the other day, just do the chorus, so it's only 20 seconds long. I said, I didn't say anything to him, but I knew I was going to do that. We're from Vale. We're going to give 3 minutes of sacrifice to listen to a song to honor this gentleman right here. And that's just who we are. You have a number that you bid with, and you might have won a silent auction. You want to check before you leave. Did I say that right, Bobby? Probably not. She's mad at me again. So, I hope that you enjoyed the kids, because I certainly did. How about a round of applause for those folks that did it? One last thing before you leave. I know a little bit about what's going on at your high school, those of you who are alumnus. Things are happening. It is a good place. They are learning, they are friendly, they are nice, they are respectful, they are incredible. They are great people, and I wanted you guys to know that. So, if you have one or you know one, tell them good job. You guys drive safe. Thanks for coming. Take care.